Hello, my name is Josh Noel, an undergraduate senior researcher in the MIT Han Lab, and today we present the Google Maps Street View navigation system powered by the Temporal Shift Module online demo. This online demo can be seen in the bottom corner, running at about 70 FPS on an HP ZBook with a Quadro GPU. Using the gestures recognized by the system, we're able to move around this overhead view of the map, for example, by using the full hand swipe gestures to pan. In addition to these full hand swipe gestures, if we were to, for example, want to take a closer look at this data center, we can use the full hand zoom gestures to zoom in. Note that zooming out also works. Now, in addition to looking closer with this overhead view, we can drum our fingers to open the Google Street View overlay. This overlay presents this figure at the center depicting our current location, as well as lines and dots representing where Google has Street View data. If we move this figure over one of the points, we can enter a single point Street View location. So if we were to look inside this data center lobby by moving over this dot here, we can use the thumbs up gesture to move inside. Now that we're inside this data center lobby, we are able to use the same swipe gestures as before to look around. Now, given this is a single point location, all we can do is use these swipe gestures to look. However, if we open back up the overlay as previous by drumming our fingers again, we can move on to a street location instead of a single point location. So let's move on to Vassar Street outside this data center. Using the thumbs up gesture again, we're able to move on to the street. And here we are looking at the outside of this data center. As you just saw, we are able to move around the street now that we're on a street with links, as depicted by the arrows at the bottom, by using the full hand zoom gestures. Zoom in will move us in the direction closest to which we are currently facing, and zoom out will move us in the direction opposite. So we can move along Vassar Street and explore Boston or Cambridge as such if we wanted to. However, we can use the same functionality presented already to take a look at somewhere else completely. So if we drum our fingers to open back up the overlay, drum our fingers again to close the overlay, we can now zoom back out and take a look at somewhere in Boston, for example. So now we use the full hand gesture to zoom out, and we can swipe to cross the Harvard Bridge and move into Boston. So now that our viewport is somewhere over Boston, we can open back up the same overlay as previous, which now presents a lot more roads and points. And given we're somewhere around or in this park, we can use the thumbs up gesture as before to see what location we are over. As you can see, we're inside some park in Boston, which happens to have Street View links to navigate within the park. So if we point in this direction and use the full hand zoom gesture, we can move closer to this intersection. This concludes the presentation of the functionality of this Google Street View navigation system powered by the Temporal Shift online demo. The power of this online demo to recognize gestures in real time shows how real-time gesture recognition can be easily ported to applications that can make use of such functionality.